Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, Childhood Finds, and here is part 2 of my What Sold video for the last couple weeks. And we're just gonna get rumbling right now. Okay, so let's get started on part 2. This is a vintage Columbia Minerva cross-stitch kit, Laugh and Be Happy. It is brand new, and I believe it's from the 70s or the 80s. I can't quite remember the year, but it is older. And I probably have 50 cents into this. It was in a small bulk buy. I sold for full asking for $20 really fast. I was surprised, but I couldn't find this exact one, so I kind of went off a little bit of what others of this brand were selling for and added a tiny bit just because it was one that wasn't seen. So maybe I underpriced it, but it sold for 20 and I'm happy with it even if I underpriced it. And it's very petite. You know, it's just a little piece. It does have the frame, but it's very small. 4x5 is what it was. More ponies. Are you surprised? No. So this is a My Little Pony 2005 Target Winter Series 3, and it's Minty is the name of the pony. And she had her little outfit, her brush and her scarf, and she had little booties on. So she was decked out with all of her goodies. And it sold for $25 super duper fast, and it's going international, so they're paying good money to get Minty to them. But it's cute. And then for the rest of the time I've been going through the ponies, every time I find another Minty, I'm super stoked. So there's different versions of Minty in the Generation 3. But yeah, so I'm gonna know pony names forever. This is Angry Birds. So I also bought, it was at a thrift store, there was, I think it was 17 Angry Birds. And I've been, just regularly selling them for really good money. And here is another one. This is Angry Birds Terrence. He is 8 inches and he has no sound. I don't think he had a sound box either, but I just wanted to make it clear because a lot of them in this Commonwealth series, they did have sound. So I just wanted to make it clear that was not with him. But he was a big guy, but super duper easy to ship, and he sold for full asking price in a couple weeks. And I have $1 into him. So Angry Bird plush are absolutely great to find. And this is a piece of ephemera that sold very fast. I did take a best offer of $9 for this piece, but I got the offer within like 12 hours of listing, so I took it. And it was a fair offer because I couldn't find this exact one, so I just you do educated guess as you work with ephemera on things. And this is a Hemphill World Cruises 1959 African Safari 83 days travel brochure and pamphlet. And I bought a whole bunch of these kind of pamphlets, and I bought some more recently. And they're not typically super fast sellers, but if you get them for cheap, they're easy to store. You can store tons of them in the typical space that you would store less if it was bigger items. So I'm happy to wait for items like this to sell. I really enjoy ephemera. This is the Folio Expanding File Folder Important Document Organizer by Saver. I paid $2 for this. I ended up just taking a best offer for $35. I probably could have waited to get a little bit more, but $35 is good with me because I had no idea this would be worth this much. But it was sealed in the thrift store and it looked kind of interesting. But this particular brand of it, it's definitely a pickup. So $35. This is funny. I featured this in a video recently that was about books that are valuable that turn into movies and TV shows essentially. And I mentioned on the video that I might want to keep this one, but it sold basically right after I talked about that. So I will just have to find another one, and I am working on another one of those videos. It'll look for it in the next week or so. But I'm happy to sell it for the $22. I paid probably 50 cents for this one, and I'm good with the profit. And this is definitely one I can find again. It's not a super rare one, so I feel good I will find another to keep. This is a really pretty set of books, and it's Easton Press. I mentioned in part 1 about another Easton Press book. So if you find Easton Press, grab it if it's you know, cheap because they typically always sell. Sometimes they take a little longer or take a while to sell, and sometimes they're not super big money, but you're always going to make some money on them. Pretty books. And this is Then Sings My Soul, Easton Press, Volume 1 and 2 by Robert J. Morgan. And it was in good condition. There are some bent pages that I showed in the pictures, but it sold for full asking of $50 in a couple days. Might have been less than that, and I have $1 into both of them. So great price. This is a Family Guy Monopoly 2006 Collector's Edition. It is complete. I paid too much for this. I paid $5 for it, but I still made a profit. It sold for full asking at $18.95, and it didn't take too much to ship, so I still made money off of it. But definitely look up when you find different kinds of Monopoly. Some of them can go for really great money, and I always look them up. You just always have to remember you're gonna have to count pieces if they're open. These sold so fast, and this is a lot of 2 brass giraffe animal figurines. I think this was a case of, so when you have something sell really fast, you're always thinking, did I underprice it, or was it just the perfect item someone was looking for right then? And I think it's the latter, because I really don't imagine I could have got much more for these, because I put up another set of 3 of these guys, and they're taking longer to sell and don't have much interest. So I think it was just the right person in 10 minutes of listing decided they needed these brass giraffes in their life, and they sold for full asking at $22.95. And I think we have a couple dollars into these. I think maybe $4 into both of them. I can't quite remember, but around $4 probably. This is the Book of Mormon, first edition, 1830 Herald Heritage reprint. Very important to put reprint in there, and it was reprinted in 1973. I believe I sent out a best offer for 19 bucks for this. I think I have $2 or $3 into this book, but it sold very quickly. Anytime I can find these 2 particular books, so these are going to be first editions of Desperation and The Regulators, and it's by Stephen King and Richard Bachman. They are the same human. So Stephen King went under the pen name of Richard Bachman on books. If you can find Richard Bachman books, the ones that he wrote, like Rage, different things like that, those are huge money if you can find them. So definitely keep Richard Bachman on your brain as well as another author, even though technically it's Stephen King, to look for. And these are sister novels. As you can see how I position them, they go together. And so they don't sell for huge money, but you're going to get more money off the pair of them than them separately. So I sold it for, this one I sold for $35 plus free shipping. And again, I've talked about in other videos, I attempted free shipping for a while just to see if it would improve my sales. I did not feel it made enough of a difference, so I don't do free shipping anymore. I just am letting the ones that have free shipping just slowly work their way out because I don't want to go and change it. And so this sold for 35 bucks. I think probably $6-7 in shipping because they are denser books, heavier for media mail, but still a good profit. Especially, I personally, when I find one or the other, I typically will just keep it and wait till I find the other because it's going to happen. They're not super uncommon books to find. Whoops. Oh, I'm going out of order now. I didn't mean to do that. Oh well, we'll just keep working through it. This is a lot of 2 cast iron turtle trivets, and they're just little pot holders. There's nothing special to them. They aren't marked in any way. I think they might be marked Taiwan or something like that. Maybe not. But they're just adorable. And I paid $1 for both of these guys, and they sold for $19. They took a couple months to sell. And if you can find cute little trivets, they sell. I enjoy the little trivets, and they don't break or they don't shatter as long as you pack them decently. And I just put these in a priority box, so they were a great sale. This is a Tina Turner Private Dancer 1984 Capitol vinyl LP. It had the shrink and it had the hype sticker. I took a best offer for $15, and she did pass away, so that of course brought up some of the interest, but it was in great condition, the piece, and it was still worth money before that. I mentioned that because I know that contributed to this sale. And I paid $1.50 for this. It was in another little kind of bulk buy. This piece I'm excited about. So this is a 1981 Cats Broadway musical. Memory is the song that plays. San Francisco Music Box Company, and it's, I'm not gonna say it, Jemima. I haven't watched it in so long, so I can't remember, but I put 1981 twice. That's not like me. Well, they really knew what year. But it was in absolutely excellent condition. We just bought this at a little rummage sale for $5, and it sold for full asking very quickly. I'm happy with the price because I found others on Terapeak. I think one other on Terapeak that sold for $75. So I priced it a little higher. I am tickled pink with 100. And I did include the video. I really feel those videos on higher priced items and things that have sound can really help you elevate your chances of selling your item. I don't know if my computer is going to allow us to watch this. No, not today, guys. But here's the video, and I showed opening it and having the song play. So that's not gonna happen. Computer says no. This buy I'm super stoked about. It is the nicest buyer. And so this was I wrote it as a private listing because she inquired if she could buy all of my Lake Tahoe postcards, and she offered a price. So at first I was a little leery because sometimes when I get the message that I want to buy all of this one thing you have, I want a bulk price. Sometimes I don't like that because then they're looking for a massive discount. And yes, this was a discount, but she was very fair in her offer of $200. And when I found out the reason she wanted these and what's going to be done with them, I couldn't be happier. I'm not going to give the details of what she wrote for just because I don't feel right giving out those personal details, but just want to share that it was a beautiful message, and it's so cool about who bought these, and I know they are going to be cherished and loved. And I almost kept these because Lake Tahoe is everybody, I think every person has a place in their heart for that perfect spot. The Lake Tahoe is my favorite place in the world. I love it more than anything. And I almost kept these, but I've sold this lot and 2 others for really good money, and I made great money with them. But you know, they're beautiful postcards. They're in excellent condition. All of them are unposted, and I can kind of do a little bit of close-ups here. Excuse the glare, so I stored all of these in their little separate baggies just to keep them protected. But there's a little bit of what they look like. So really neat. I mean, especially with people in them, and you know, the gazebo and the mountains and trees, and it's so, they're such cool pieces. And I have fractions of a penny into each of these because I did a bulk lot of postcards. These sell really quickly too, so sometimes you're gonna wait for a while for your postcards to sell, but they don't take up a lot of space is what I always say. And as long as you price them fairly, they'll sell. Just be patient. And so this is definitely my favorite sale, and these postcards are going to the perfect buyer, and I am so glad that they are going to this person. Okay, I'm gonna try to splice this together. It's gonna be a little discombobulated. My phone just stopped and said, you don't have any more memory, fix it. So it stopped the last recording, and so I had to go and delete some stuff before I could continue the video. So let's try to get back through this. And so this one is going to be a sterling silver natural blister pearl pin brooch leaf and berry setting. It was marked F-W on the back. I don't know if that means anything. I couldn't really find it. So I try not to spend hours upon hours researching an item, because you get that diminishing return where all of the time you're spending isn't worth it when it comes down to money that you are making. And this is just a beautiful little piece. We got this in a little bulk buy at an estate sale where we got some other really cool pieces, and we paid probably $1 for it. So really cute little piece of jewelry. This is another postcard, another antique Lake Tahoe postcard, and I sold this before the bulk buy. I'm almost sad I sold it before the other person could see it, because it's such a cool little piece, and I know they would have loved to have it, but I'm very happy with the sale, and I'm sure the other person that bought this will cherish it as well, because it's amazing. And it's an office and store or house for Fallen Leaf Lake Tahoe. And the reason I put the question marks is because on the postcard, as you can see, it says office, and then it kind of, there's that blank white space there. So I didn't know what it was, and I just kind of filled in what I thought it might be, because you can see there's some people and it looks a bit like a house. So I don't know, but it's amazing. These postcards were amazing, and likely I will never find them again. They are rare. There's only one postcard I could find another version of it somewhere else. So these are definitely rare pieces, and I adored them, and I'm happy that people are enjoying them. And I took a best offer of $25, pennies into it. This is a Tajweed Quran with English translation, and it's a very small pocket size. And this is I got $20 for this, and I actually got more than you would think when you look up this item. So you'll find on a lot of books, there's a lot of stock photos and a lot of people that are bulk booksellers, and don't always get discouraged that you can't possibly make any money. And I'm not talking about like the James Pattersons and the Clive Cusslers and the Daniel Steele books. I'm talking about things that are, have a little more value to them. And so I priced this, I think, a little higher, or right around the price that the others were listed at, but they were all free shipping. So definitely priced higher because I made the buyer pay shipping here, but I have photos of the actual item. So I have found on some of my books that people will purchase mine even if it's not the lowest price, because I have photos of it, and they can actually see what they are going to receive, because it is, let's be honest, it's kind of a shoot when you're buying something with a stock photo. You don't know exactly what you're receiving. So I have found that people do purchase even if they have to pay a little bit more for that. And the buyer was super happy with this piece. So $20 for this was great. I think I paid $2 or $3 for it. And so just keep that in mind as you're listing. Don't always get discouraged when there's a whole bunch of listings, but they're all stock photos. So I have 2 of these, and these are bittersweet and make me smile. But so these are Disney Pirates of the Caribbean pocket model game. They're from 2007. They are brand new, and it's this one and this one. And I had a buyer reach out wanting to purchase both, and they offered $80 for both, which I feel was very fair for these items. And they paid a little bit extra in shipping, just because it did have to push into that priority mail. But I remember my brother playing this, so I knew exactly what they were when I saw them at the thrift store. And I paid $3 each, by the way, so $6 into $80 for these 2. And I remember him playing this game, and he loved it. He was such a massive Pirates of the Caribbean fan, so it's sweet to see it and made me smile. But those both sold very quickly. This is a 1989 Holy Bible, the Living Bible TBN Quick Scan Edition, first printing. This is the first time I've ever had a Bible matter if it was first printing or not. And so I included it, and it sold very quickly for $30. I don't know where I got this. At the most, I have $3 into this item. I'm really struggling at remembering where I'm getting items. I think it's because it's the beginning, it's the big sourcing push in spring. So, you go through just trying to survive through the winter off your, squirreled away stuff. and this is all the new items coming in. And my store is growing because I'm continuing to just grow my store as much as I can, as I became a full-time reseller last year. So I'm up to almost 1,800 listings now, so I don't remember as much as I used to. But this sold for $30 very quickly. It was in good condition, really good condition. These I have maybe $1 into. They're a lot of Create 365 Happy Planner note paper and page protectors. And it's for people that like to decorate their planners, things like that. I'm not super creative in that way, so to me, I'm like, that's a lot of money for that. But people that do this love it and have it as a great outlet for, you know, their creative needs, and sold for $13.95. I know it's not a lot of money, but it sold really fast. So it was maybe a day or two as listed, so I was really surprised by that sale. But it was good, and I just made a lot out of things that were kind of alike. This I showed in a recent haul video, and I took a best offer of $15 for it just because let's get it moving. Let's get some stuff moving, just because my space to keep things is very, very tight right now, and I'm actually gonna have to be moving again in a month or two, so I'm like, let's take some offers. And I've taken a lot of offers recently to get stuff moving, and essentially just to get life back to my eBay store. And it worked last week. This week it's not working so well, but it worked last week really well. And so I have 50 cents into this mug and took a best offer of $15, and it sold very fast. And it's a Starbucks coffee mug, 2010 Hamptons Collector Series. And so I tend to pick up Starbucks mugs. I know a lot of them are gonna sit. That's okay when you pay 50 cents for them, if you have the space. Another pony, this one sold on Mercari. This is a My Little Pony Generation 3 Twinkle Hope 25th anniversary. She has little tinsel, glitter tinsel in her hair. Special edition. But she sold for full asking of $15, so woohoo! Another pony sale. And another pony. This is My Little Pony Marshmallow Coco. She's a winter series, and as you see, she has Coco on her tushy as her cutie mark. And she was from Target and had the brush and sold for $15. I think I have dedicated to cross-listing at least 5 items to Poshmark and Mercari. I try to do more when I can, at least Monday through Friday, or at least the days that I am with my computer, because I'm usually out of town Friday, Saturday sourcing. So at least 4 to 5 days a week I've been trying to cross-list better, and I think that's helping. I'm not getting a lot of sales, but I'm at least having a couple a week now, where before it was one every 2 weeks, and that wouldn't quite be worth it for me. But now it's a little more worth it. So I spend probably 10 to 20 minutes a night cross-listing some stuff. And this sold on Poshmark. This is a Princess House Heritage Romance Collection clear boudoir lamp, and it does work. I show that it works in a photo, but I always write that I don't include bulbs because I'm not including one more thing that can break in the packaging. And this is just a little pretty piece. I think I paid $5 for it, but I'm still making a good profit even with it selling on Poshmark. And I do love selling on Poshmark because of their shipping. And so the buyer only paid about $8 for shipping, so you can typically get a little more money, but they do have higher fees, so it's that balancing act. But when it's all said and done, you pay a lot in fees on eBay, and it's probably getting pretty comparable to Poshmark anyway if you promote and things like that. So I am happy to sell on Poshmark. I like it. And that sold for $35. And that's the end of these what solds. And remember to put in the comments your favorite sale. I know I said that on part 1, but if you didn't do it on part 1, do it here on part 2. Your favorite sale that you recently sold. And thank you so much to everyone that is watching. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.